To the turtles. Does anyone sound like a turtle that's on Nickelodeon right now? Do you know? Raphael. Yeah, Raphael kind of sounds familiar, but who does he sound like? Yeah, well, he sounds like Rob Paulson. Yeah, you're right. He sounds like another turtle that's happening right now. Do you guys know who that is? Donatello. So he actually plays two parts of the Ninja Turtles. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, what we're going to do right here is we're going to get started with our question and answer session. I hope you guys have some really cool questions. So right now, we're going to turn it on over. I want you guys to make some noise for the producer of our event. We've got Jeff. Everybody put your hands together.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Wow, lots of kids. This one's way more fun. I love it. You guys enjoy that? Did you all pay attention to the turtles? Are you ready for the test? There is no test. I was just making sure you're paying attention. Very cool. Well, make some noise. You got some questions, right? You guys have all thought of questions? All of you? Yes, especially you. All right. We'll bring on, do you guys know you just watched the Turtles with the Turtles, right? You all know that? I know some of you do that have been here before. I know some of your faces. You know the Turtles were watching it with you, sitting in the audience, right? No? Well, see, I like that reaction. All right, let's just bring them out here. All right, who is that? I gotta find them first. Where are they? Oh, I can see Barry Gordon. Donatello, guys. Here he is, Barry Gordon. Oh, he's right here in the middle. That's why I couldn't see him. That way. You guys remember the one with the nunchucks, right? Which one was that? The orange? Michelangelo. Townsend Coleman is right here. We have, who's next? Let's see. Where? Oh, he's over there. All right, who wears red? Who's Raphael? Raphael. Rob Paulson is here, guys. Oh, man. He's got nunchucks too, watch out.
Try to have me sign now.
Last but not least, the leader of the group, Leonardo, Cam Clark.
That's still Pete. Yeah, look at Cammy. He's playing beat the clock. We really have to. Cam, you gotta cheer up. Seriously.
Yeah, pink is the new black.
Hi!
Hey!
What a thrill!
Hello there.
Well, guys, this is a question and answer. You know who they are now, right? The Turtles, we all know. Put your hands up. Myself or Brad will be walking around. He'll come out and find you. If you have no questions, we're just going to go to the pool and leave the room. You got questions? Anybody? I see a little guy down here. Right there, yeah.
What's your name, man?
What's your question?
You have a favorite Ninja Turtle you want to ask a question to?
Half-hour show. You have a question, buddy? What do you want to know?
I want your bank account. You stepped on his hand.
What?
Piggy bank.
You want my piggy bank? He wants your piggy bank. Not gonna happen.
All right, if you turn around, there's a little girl right here.
What's your name, Mike?
Jane.
Yeah, what's your question?
How did they learn to use their weapons?
Great question.
We had somebody draw them besides us.
You know what? I have never learned how to use those size. I pretty much used my sparkling wit.
And I never learned how to use the nunchucks because I would knock myself out with them. You almost saw me do it just now.
I use the bow all the time. I shop with it. And
He does.
It's part of stand your ground, I think. So I use it.
Yeah.
Whenever I can.
You should see me with a hair dryer.
Oh, yeah.
Watch out.
It's embarrassing when Barry tries to put his bow in the luggage compartment over it. You know, they won't let it go. He has to check it.
All right, we got a few down here, Brad. You want me to? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, all in the front.
Let's go with Chunks. What's your name, ma'am?
Justice.
And what's your question?
Why is Master Splinter and Shredder are enemies?
Who's got some tape? Well, there's a bit of a backstory, as you probably know. They were sort of friends in a previous life. Hamato Yoshi, Master Splinter, and Oroku Saki was Shredder, right? And they were contemporaries. Hey, I'm not as dumb as I look. You know, I'm old, but I'm not that old. And so they used to be enemies. I mean, they used to be friends, and now they're enemies. And if you watch the new Ninja Turtles, they give you even more backstory about the fact that there is the daughter of Master Splinter, April, is right. Her name is Karai, and she ends up working for Shredder. It's very confusing, but it's kind of an interesting backstory. So these guys have known each other a long time, and before Master Splinter became a rat, he was a ninja guy who was a friend with Shredder. That's pretty crazy, huh?
It is crazy. I got to start watching that show.
Totally, watch it. They're called the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Tortugas.
Las Tortugas Ninjas. Las Tortugas Ninjas, sí. Cowabunga!
I must Cowabunga.
Right here we have the lovely Maya.
I've got Maya. She's got a really cool behind-the-scenes question. What's your question?
Who was your favorite guest star to work with?
What a great question.
Wow.
I always loved working with Jim Cummings. I mean, it's just a kick.
Yeah, you guys know Jimmy because right across the street he's
That's right.
Winnie
Mr.
the
Everything.
Pooh and
Winnie the
Tigger,
Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck and Tigger, and yeah. So I loved working with Jim, but we had a lot of great guests. A lot of good guys.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Tress McNeil.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, sorry.
Tress is great.
She's just brilliant. You know,
Yeah.
it's been around forever and created so many great characters.
Tress
And
played
She was one of the Animaniacs.
Yeah,
She's
she
one of
was.
the, yeah.
She was Babs Bunny on Tiny Toons and Dot on Animaniacs, right? And she played one of the Neutrinos.
Neutrinos, yeah.
Kella.
Ninja Turtles. She was a huge. Did you have
Kella.
a favorite extra actor that you liked that did stuff? Just like them all, huh? Yeah, a good answer. Okay. Thank
That's
you.
crazy. I love the fact that you're so aware of just
Yeah,
the voices and that there are guest actors on these shows.
Good
yeah,
for you.
Thanks. Great question.
Thank you, sweetie.
Next one's right here.
All right, so Christian's got a question for you guys. Go ahead,
Hey,
take it
buddy.
away.
Do you guys like fighting Bebop and Rocksteady?
Bebop and Rocksteady are sitting right here.
Yeah, they do.
Got Bebop, you know.
And they're always winning. I hate it when they win.
So we got Bebop and Rocksteady here. So I really, both these guys can take a punch. But we try to refrain from fisticuffs because we just love each other so much.
And what's crazy is when Donatello has to battle Bebop,
Yeah.
Leonardo has to battle Rocksteady.
Right, it is. And both of
It's
them
very
have
confusing.
certain medications which keep them from doing that. Parents out there will be rest assured that they're both well medicated right now.
We're just staying right here on the floor because all the questions are right
Wow,
here.
yeah.
I'm gonna make my way over that way in just a second, so you guys can hold on to your questions. This is Brianna, and she's got another really great behind-the-scenes question. Go ahead, Brianna.
I love
Do
your
you have
hair.
fun working on the show?
Did you have fun working on the show?
Oh, we can all answer that.
So much fun.
Yeah, the fact that we get paid for it is unbelievable because it's like hanging out in a swing set in a sandbox.
Whoa, wait a second. You got paid for this?
What I meant to say was if we got paid. If we did. I didn't, but if I did.
It really is an incredible joy because we used to go to work every week, and we got to work on a lot of other stuff. But you know, when you get to work with your best friends every week, and then you get to pay for your food with the money, and then we come 25 years later and get to meet all these incredibly wonderful people. This has been a real party for 25 years. We're very lucky.
I'll tell you something. When I first moved to Los Angeles, hundreds of years ago, I had no plans on doing cartoons and had a chance audition for a show called Inspector Gadget in 1985, and I got a part on this and found myself in a room with Maurice LaMarche, Frank Welker, and Don Adams, and I had to pinch myself. I couldn't believe that I could have a job that was that much fun, and then to get a job on Ninja Turtles several years later, and to be able to work with these guys and do it for 10 seasons, it's unbelievable what a great time we've had.
Thank you for asking. And the simple answer to your question is yes.
All right, we've got a few comments and questions over here. This is Elijah. He's got something to say.
Hey, Elijah.
Renato is my favorite character.
Who is?
Renato.
Sweet! All right.
He likes Leonardo's fashion sense.
Yeah. I'm so glad he's got somebody who likes him because the rest of the group.
I'll slip you $5 later.
Thank you, hon.
And what's your name?
Asmar.
And you know that the Ninja Turtles like pizza, but he has a question for you guys.
What is your guys' favorite pizza?
Go ahead.
Well, you heard it in this episode. It's granola and licorice in this one.
My favorite is marshmallow, hot fudge, tuna fish, and Dorito. What are you talking about?
I like sprinkling with Lucky Charms.
Does it surprise you? I mean, magically delicious. Magically delicious. He's got green clovers, orange stars, and pink pants.
No flash dance.
What a feeling.
Yeah, I like pepperoni and Nutella. It's really good.
That was the name of my law firm, was Pepperoni and Nutella. Yeah.
So kids, when you go home and order pizza, make sure you ask your parents for hot fudge, marshmallows, and Doritos on your pizza.
And anchovies.
Lucky Charms.
Anchovies and Lucky Charms.
And Nutella.
All right, lovely lady in the front.
All right, this is Leanne, and she's got a question kind of about Donatello and April's relationship, right?
Yeah, on the new one, right?
In the new one,
Yes.
Donatello he likes April.
I love April.
And the old one,
Yeah, if you ask me, it's very warped.
See, in the old Donatello, if there was that relationship, it would have been called, it's spelled F-E-L-O-N-Y. But in our relationship, it's perfectly fine because they're both teenagers. And that's one of the things. Do you like the fact that Donnie has a crush on April? Isn't that kind of cool? I like that because we have a whole new group of audiences of girls who love the fact that Donnie and April have a crush on each other. Now, Casey Jones comes into the show, so we have a love triangle. And Donnie's always kind of upset with Casey and vice versa. Yeah, but in the old show it's different because April was more like kind of it's almost like a big sister type thing, right? And considerably older.
Well, no, I harbored feelings. I just
I harbored feelings.
Hang on, it's a kid's show at Nickelodeon.
I read in an article, and this is the truth, that at pet stores around the country, little girls are going in saying they need a boyfriend in the form of a turtle.
Are you kidding me? I'm so sorry, parents.
Hello?
Boy, you got me, Kim.
It's true.
Well, there is. I mean, you guys, right? Isn't it? It's kind of cool. Isn't the relationship between Donnie and April something that a lot of the that's something that a lot
It's
of fans.
sick.
Just not right.
You go right there. It's not right. It's not sick. It's interesting. Yeah.
All right, let's move subjects. Let's change it up here. How about the young gentleman in the front?
interspecies.
Yes. Let's move on. Go right ahead.
All right, what's your name and what's your question?
my name is Lamar, and how do you guys make the voices of the character? Do you need a microphone, or can you make it with your voice?
Well, I can make mine with my voice, because it's just my voice. So I'm doing it.
So, are you asking, are there any...
I think he's asking if there's any effects.
Any special tricks on the microphone or anything? No, pretty much it's just us doing
the character like this, like Michelangelo says, "Cowabunga, dudes!"
Raphael is pretty much my voice. And I would say, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Shredder, you named yourself after a kitchen appliance? So that's pretty much my voice. And Cam is, you are a superhero in real life.
Yes, indeed.
I am the leader.
You are the leader. So no, we all do characters in other shows, and well, in Bebop and Rocksteady. In this show, Cam and Barry changed their voices a lot for those shows. But in terms of the microphone, the only reason we need it is to record it, so that you guys can hear it.
This is
That's Rocksteady.
Master Splinter is a gentleman named Peter Renaday, and he's not with us today, but he's a terrific actor.
You know what's cool about Mr. Renaday is that he was for a long time, he's got that really cool deep voice, the Master Splinter. He was also Mickey Mouse. Yeah, so it's pretty cool that people can get hired. Jim Cummings, who we've spoken about earlier, was a phenomenal actor. Jim is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and the Tasmanian Devil. Wow! So that's one of the cool things about this job.
And Darkwing Duck.
And Darkwing Duck.
And for all the moms, Peter Renaday was on General Hospital for a minute.
Oh, that's right, he was.
Yes, he was on camera, so the moms in the room, they all know who Peter is.
And some of the dads, hello. Saying.
Yes. All right, we have a question right here.
Yes, Lainey has a question. Then if anyone in the chairs have a question, we're coming to you guys next. So what's your question?
What's your favorite episode?
This one that we showed today where they went to the movie theater, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, me too.
I like that one, and the Neutrinos were in this one too. And I like the Neutrino episodes because I love Tress.
Neutrinos were in this one.
I think they were in this one, weren't they? Or were they in?
Here's
Or
the
the second
quiz.
one. Maybe
Here's
it's
the
the second
test we were talking about. Were the neutrinos in this episode, kids?
No, it's probably the second one we watched earlier this morning.
Now, one of the crazy things about this episode was the turtles, when they went to the theater, they took their masks off.
Yeah.
There were beanies. Yeah. How often does that happen?
I would say who asked the question? Oh, my favorite episode is when Der Fledermaus and American Maid had a crush on each. Oh wait, that's the wrong show. I'm sorry, wrong show.
That's another one of the many shows that Mr. Clark has in which he's essayed a role, or 6.
All right.
Oh, stop.
Well, moving on, right here.
Hello, my name is Tony.
Hi,
My
Tony.
question has to do with charities. We have 5 kids, and one of our sons is in the hotel room because he has autism. But I know you work, Rob, with Operation Smile,
Right.
and do some really cool things for them. So my question, though, is during your tenure as a turtle, what charities did you get to work for and maybe lend your voice to that you remembered or really enjoyed?
We were talking about one yesterday, a
Famous phone friends.
Phone friends.
Yeah, Cammie brought one up. We have a dear friend, Linda Stone, who was a school, a showbiz teacher. She's a movie set teacher. Many of you, well, I know there's a lot of stuff being done here in Florida and Georgia. Many of you know that for children, when they work on a set, they have to have a school teacher there with them to make sure that no child labor laws are violated and they get their studies done, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so Linda, having worked on the set for many years, was very aware of children, and she had her own children, and she developed this thing called Famous Phone Friends, in which she got a hold of cartoon characters, famous athletes, actors, celebrities, and they would call children if they had, somebody say, my son is in the hospital with something and he loves Mickey Mouse. Well, they get a hold of Wayne Allwine, who was the corporate Mickey Mouse guy for 25, 30 years, and he called thousands of children, And so the same thing with Turtles, when we were really kicking shell in the 90s there, we had an opportunity on many occasions to call kids, and we were all incredibly grateful for that opportunity because it doesn't last, We were grateful that this had much more staying power than most shows, but not every kid wants to talk to a turtle. They say, yeah, Raphael, but can you get me SpongeBob? I'd rather hear from SpongeBob.
Well, at Christmas time with this organization, we would, and this is almost like everybody. I mean, every Disney character, us, The Simpsons, name it, all went to this affair where we called people. And I was like one of them, but also a fan, and it was so surreal to talk to somebody and go, oh, you'd also like to talk to Bart, Nancy, here, this one's for you, or Peter, they want Mickey Mouse. And these people were all together in the room, passing the phone around when, Yogi, who's Yogi? Well, It was pretty surreal and pretty lovely.
One of the charities that I enjoy working with is Make-A-Wish Foundation. And for many years have done a character on a radio drama called Adventures in Odyssey for Focus on the Family. And boy, there's nothing that'll really impact you and transform your life internally than dealing with some of these kids who are terminally ill. And their wish is to, meet you, and you go, why me? Yeah, but, come to find out that oftentimes that we hear that the work that we do has impacted people, typically when they were kids growing up, in some pretty profound ways. And that is a really sobering and humbling sense to have about the work that we do,
Yeah, it's, I've had I've just met my new friends Josh and Celia back there, and he was reminiscing about that type of impact. I've had the good fortune of, I'm a huge supporter of the military, and I do a lot of stuff for Wounded Warrior, but also I have gotten to do a lot of things with the USO, and I'll tell you, never experiencing something really cool until you can go to, a Marine base. I was at at Quantico a couple of years ago, the Marine Air Station, where they keep the presidential helicopter and the FBI, right? So I'm at Quantico Marine Station on behalf of the USO, and I walk into this room, and man, they're like 60 killing machines. I mean, the best of the best, bad dudes. And within 60 seconds, they're 8-year-olds. Right. And it was fantastic because, I walked in, I said, these guys, you have no idea who I am, do you? You have no idea. And he said, hey, how you doing? Hello, nurse. Narf, cowabunga.
And then all of a sudden,
these guys are dropping all their, their battle gear, and they're freaking out. Oh, excuse me, sir, would you please leave a message on my cell phone? And dude, call me up. Raphael's on my cell phone. It was perfect. They're all sort of 19 to 30 years old, right? They're right in our wheelhouse, and it is, like Tony said, it's beyond gratifying to know that these kids, irrespective of your politics, we're just talking about just this one aspect of it, and these kids volunteer to do whatever they're told to do, and then they find out they're in Fallujah, and when they get a break, they're watching Ninja Turtles on their computers. How can you even begin to quantify what that means to us? So as all of you people saying these lovely things, we're the ones who are grateful to you. We're the ones,
and blessed.
Yeah. Thanks for asking, Tony. And go Tigers.
All right, moving back to the audience.
Hey, dude.
Hi.
Check out those glasses, man. Are those turtle glasses?
No, they're just great. I figured.
Great, man. So cool.
I was wondering what you guys think of the new movie coming out, and if any of you were asked to be a part of it.
No.
In a word.
You notice how that was acted so beautifully, with just the right amount of disgust?
No. Yet.
Nada.
Pretty much. Even though we were the original cast on the original series, all the iterations of Ninja Turtles over the years have. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that none of us have been asked to be a part of any of it until Robbie.
I was in the ice show.
What's that?
I was the voice of Leonardo in the ice show.
In the ice show.
Coming out the Shell Tour.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming out the Shell's Tour was a musical tour, not on ice.
What?
Coming out the Shell's Tour, you did the voice. That was musical.
This young lady here
Michelle would know.
knows my career better than I do. If she says I'm mistaken, go with her.
There were a couple of times when we might have done a couple of the commercials for the Turtle Toys early on. PSA, stuff like that. But yeah, really until Robbie, got Donatello on the current series, I look at you as finally bringing this thing full circle. And making it work for the rest of us. I love that.
Well, and that's great, man. Thanks. And that is really, talk about honor among thieves. There's always we always root for each other. Townsend was the voice of NBC, of all the NBC comedy programs, and everything, right? Not just comedy. He did drama too.
Comedy.
But he was, coming up next on Who's Cooking the Soup? It's Friends, blah, 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 blah. And Townsend did that for 16 years, and I remember every night I'd look at my wife and I'd go, God bless Townsend Coleman. How great is that? Because not only is he great at it, he's a great guy, but it's a great gig. It's a great gig. And so you love it when your friends are really doing well. That's absolutely true. But in terms of the movie, look, the general consensus from what I can feel so far is not positive. That's what I'm feeling so far. What? Right. About the movie. I have to say, and I'm being honest, I have to say the feeling about the new series is virtually all positive. I would say, out of everything, on the reviews I've read for the new Turtles, it's usually 8 to 8.5 out of 10, from whether it's IGN, and they all love the new show. And that's because it's being made by people your age. They love and respect the Turtles, the history. They get all of that, and they really truly love the fans because they are fans. However, the thing that you can say about was it P.T. Barnum or somebody said they're not a sucker born every minute, but no such thing as bad publicity, whatever. The first trailer.
I think that was Charlie Sheen.
It was Charlie Sheen. This is our stand-up right here. The first trailer that came out for the new Michael Bay movie in 10 days got 35 million views. So whether or not you like it, and I'm going to reserve judgment because it's a hard thing to make a movie. When you spend a couple $100 million.
I'll judge. I got no problem with judgment.
I don't know. I have to say the characters to me look a little frightening, as opposed to, they don't have to all be 8-year-old friendly, but they kind of look like scary, monstery kind of thing. So that may be a little off-putting. I don't know. But when your trailer gets 35 million hits, that's more people than in Canada, right? So we'll see what happens. It's going to come out, I think, in August, right?
Yeah.
I told some of these guys the other day at a thing that an audition came out through the agency for a turtle game. And they were
this is great. Listen to this.
And they were looking for the four turtles, and so I read for Leonardo, and I just kind of I just kind of hipped him up 25 years, and I got the job. And so I show up at...
Yeah. Oh, no. It's a big deal. We get to make one more car payment.
And so I get there, and I do the thing. I kind of made Leonardo kind of like this, so he's kind of like, yeah, right, I kind of good looking, Anyway, I get there, and I do the job, and as I'm leaving, I said, I just got to ask you guys something. Am I here because I'm Cam Clark? And they looked at the contract and go, yeah, it says Cam Clark. and I said, no, that's not what I mean. I said, I'm just curious. Am I here because I'm the original Leonardo? Get out! You are? What? No way!
Isn't that great? They freak.
We just chose you because we thought you had the essence of Leonardo. Everything old is new again.
One other word about the movie. I think I'm looking forward to it. And if it's different, that's fine, because every iteration has been different in some ways. There's been a similarity, but certainly the comic book was much darker. Our show was very kind of crazy, silly, and and your show is kind of in the same vein, but probably a little bit different. So every iteration is going to be different. And as long as the only thing that worried me was when they were going to get rid of the origin story and make them aliens. And thanks to the fans, they didn't do that.
Yeah, I'll wait till it's on Netflix.
I'll be there the first weekend because I really do want to see it. And I'm excited. I'm, very excited. Megan Fox is in, but no. but I'm definitely interested in seeing it.
Yeah, and all it does is really it keeps the brand alive. The fact, the thing that's become so unusually wonderful about this whole thing is that you could make the argument that there's probably nobody in 80% of the world who has not heard of Ninja Turtles. Right? And people refer to them in an offhanded way and blah, blah, blah. And so it's an amazing...
Except for Utah.
Except for, Utah. Well, there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Mormons, which is a different...
Yes, show altogether.
And you're in that, aren't you?
I am in that show.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. So anyway, what was the next one? I'm rambling.
Next question back there. Hey guys.
Hey man.
My name is Alex.
Hi Alex.
Just want to ask, how much improv did you guys get to do, if any, on the old show?
Townie, take it.
We're speechless. We have nothing.
We
to
have
say.
no improv skills.
We have no improv skills. No.
Without a script, they
We
can't.
can't ad lib. No, we do a lot. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, the truth is that we ad-libbed a lot because when you get comfortable with a group of actors who are so capable and you know each other's rhythms and timing. Pat Fraley is not here. Pat was Krang and Bern Thompson and is an amazing improv guy, very talented individual. So Pat would really get the ball rolling and we'd improvise a lot. Whether it ended up in the show is another story because sometimes they were not for public consumption. But the thing that I've noticed, having done a lot of these shows, is that when you have actors who have facile imaginations and are quick and and sort of fearless and willing to try stuff, it just makes the show better. I don't think it's a surprise that, I mean, not every show turns out to be a Ninja Turtles, but in addition to where all the pieces fit and the sort of creative stars align, it doesn't surprise me that people enjoy the voice actors because we're all friends and we all get each other and we all have skills that complement each other and it ends up in the show. You know?
I will tell you where some of these lines end up. On some shows, and it's part of the best of what we do, is what they call the Christmas reel. And they save our outtakes, they save our beep, all of that stuff, and at the end of the season, they edit together these incredible things of us going, or, you know, just the improvs and all of that, and they edit this crazy thing together, and it's probably one of my favorite things of the season.
Yeah. Now,
of the Christmas season.
Now, oftentimes you understand that the writers have labored over these scripts and they've gone through many levels of committees and stuff to finally get to us when we get to go in and bring these words to life. But I think that the really great writers out there appreciate the fact that there are actors who can sometimes punch up their scripts just a little bit and bring something fresh to it that maybe they hadn't thought of. And those are some of the most fun times in recording sessions, is to hear some of the stuff that comes out. And for me, I love being an audience in these sessions and watching these guys just go, because they're hilarious. It's just, you know, when you get to know a character, and certainly, you know, we were very fortunate to have done this show for 9 or 10 years. When you get to know a character enough and you've done it often enough, oftentimes the actor can bring something to that character that maybe the writer or the producer hadn't thought of, and it makes it just that much sweeter.
All right, we have one more here and then one more from this gentleman in the second row, and then we have to wrap up.
Hi, my name is Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Carlos. Hey, I got a question. How was it to work with James Avery during the show on time?
He's spectacular. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Avery passed away a few months ago, and he was the original Shredder. Man, talk about a guy that was bigger than life. He's a big man, physically, a big man.
But like a gentle giant.
Yeah. Really great
guy you'd ever meet.
And the best laugh.
Oh, I was just going to say, this huge laugh. And you'd say, dude, we're living on a fault line here, be careful. Yeah, just a gregarious, sweet, bigger than life guy. And it was cool to watch James go from being our buddy the Shredder to Uncle Phil on, Fresh Prince. He became a TV star, and that's pretty neat. He was not able to do all the Ninja Turtles because he was busy doing his gig on Fresh Prince, but he's and also a very highly trained actor.
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah, and his part didn't lend itself as much to kind of ad-libbing, so he was always kind of the straight person, and we were always just going crazy. And he was just so much fun, and such a wonderful support system, I felt there. He was
Great
amazing.
guy. You have good taste in actors, my friend. Do you have another question you say? Or there was one.
No, last question's right here.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Yes, my name's Justin, and I wanted to ask a question because a lot of people think of the Ninja Turtles, the original series, as a silly, funny, goofy show, but what they don't always remember is that things changed during the last 3 seasons. With season 8, Shredder blew up the Channel 6 building and things got really dark.
I hate it when that happens.
But what I want to know is, how was it from your perspective? How did things change? Did you find that things were not as fun, or did things take on a different tone where you worked?
Let's see how we have to go. things do have a tendency to change, and I think like any other, well, I'll use another example. I mean, we did Pinky and the Brain for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years of that too. And then, you know, somebody in marketing said, well, this show's starting to go like this. Not in quality, one would argue, that's subjective, but starting to go like this, so let's juice it up. Well, we'll make Pinky Elmira in the Brain. Yeah. And by and large, most people hated Pinky Elmira in the Brain. Well, I'm not going to not go to work and say, no, Cree Summer, whom we love and so talented, we're going to do Pinky Elmira in the Brain, so how do you feel about that? Oh, I'm not showing up. No, I'll do it. It's my job. I'm Pinky, right? So I suppose the same thing can be said with Turtles. I mean, I wasn't in the last season. Was it the last full season, I think? Yeah. Sometimes it's creative things, sometimes it's...
And who came in?
I think it was Hal Rail, I think, right? On the last 12 or 13 episodes? Was it Hal?
I know Hal did one season, I don't know if it was the last.
I think it was the last one.
It was the last
season,
yes.
Guy. But also, in terms of the darkness of the way the series went, honestly, I don't remember a conscious choice where the people said, okay, here, just so you know, we're taking this series on, you know. It's like anything else. They run a natural course, and people often say things like, how come you're not still making them? Well, it's pretty tough to continue to be creative, to do stuff like that. There are business aspects to it where if there's a cost-benefit ratio, where it's cost effective to continue to do things. And I've even looked at Tress and other actor friends of mine. This is a great example where we are still riding this incredibly wonderful wave of Turtle Mania at arguably the same level as it was 20-odd years ago. But really, truly, from our perspective, unless you're on The Simpsons, there are very few shows, even like Turtles, who rise to a level where you can do something fun, effective, creative, affects people on an emotional level, sells toys so everybody's happy. That's so unusual. This is a real example of I wouldn't say high art, but high entertainment and capitalism and emotional remuneration. All these really cool things that just don't happen with everybody. You know?
What did you think?
Yeah, what did you think?
Did you like that direction or not?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like after 7 seasons of what we already knew, and maybe it was time for something new and a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, Shredder's not just going to be all fun and games either. He's gonna have a victory at some point.
Justin, I remember when we were recording those episodes and when we got to sort of that point in the life of the series, that it definitely, I really sensed the change, and for me personally, kind of made me a little sad because it didn't feel like the same family. Yeah, it just didn't have the same flavor that I was so used to, and I think I felt a little protective of wanting it to be the way it used to be, and it just wasn't, and I didn't like that we were growing up in that way, in that direction, you know. But of course, like Robbie said, I'm not going to not, you know, show up for work, and, you know, so there I was, but I found myself just sort of, you know, kind of not being as into it as much because it didn't feel, it didn't feel familiar to me anymore.
It became the Carter and Drake show.
What's that?
It became the Carter and Drake show.
The Carter and Drake show?
Yeah, it became the Carter and Drake show.
And Drake,
Carter was always to the rescue.
And Drake, Lord Drake, that was Peter Rennick.
Was it?
Yeah, well,
yeah. It's you can look back at virtually any successful show in the history of entertainment. You know, MASH, the Carol Burnett show. They certainly sort of, maybe with the exception of Saturday Night Live, and there are people that argue that show should have been off the air 20 years ago, you know. But I don't think so. There are always creative people coming in and lovely people. You know, nobody knew who Will Ferrell was 10 years ago, and now he's a super duper star, and same with Amy Poehler and Kristen Wiig. Great, incredible gifts and talents. So things run their course, and luckily there are shows like Ninja Turtles who have a lasting effect on you know, the nostalgia aspect of things, which, as we can see, and as much as we love being here with you guys, we do this hopefully many more times around. And what's so great is that the nostalgic aspect of animation, and particularly in our case Ninja Turtles, is so strong.
And you know, my career has kind of run its course.
Cam has canceled himself.
I am off the air.
Mr. Clark, come into my office. Yeah.
All right. All right, on that note, folks, big round of applause for the Ninja Turtles. Hand it over to Brad. Thank you
so much. Guys, really make some noise for these guys. They're incredible. Thank you so much, everybody. They're going to go ahead and get set up right over here. We've got some tables that you guys are going to have your autograph cards for. That's you have those things right there. And in just a few moments, we're going to start calling numbers. When you walked in today, you received a little white card with numbers on it. We're going to start with number 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down just like that in just a few moments. So I'll start calling number 1 in just a few moments. You guys can start over here with Kanima. She's waving her hands like a wild person. Like a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing her. And so you guys are going to line up with her. She's going to attend you guys down the line. Where you guys get to one-on-one meet, ask a few questions, get a photo, and take some autographs on your stuff. So thank you so much, guys. We'll keep you updated on the numbers as we go through. Don't forget, later on this afternoon, we have another extra super special event where you guys can have anything signed by the Ninja Turtles. More information is available upon request.